So, listen, I I know you're asking, where is Kale Clone? Where has he been? What has he been doing? What's he cooking? Don't worry, I'm not cooking anything or joking. I got videos to post actually, not like me being hyperbolic, but I do have a lot of videos that I am posting and I am writing for scripting for anime and manga that I'm currently watching. But besides that point, Happy New Year. Thank you for coming to the channel. Thank you for subscribing, hitting the like button. I want to kind of open this video in like kind of a different way. Because while you know the title of the video is Haikyuu, like lessons I learned from Haikyuu, which I should be titling. The title might change. Listen, don't add me. I absolutely love Haikyuu, but this video is more of a love letter to it in series than more of like a lesson, like more anthology or like, I guess like etymology based, like when I'm talking about like how I enjoy the series really. But a lot of these lessons helped me grow as a person and the individual I am today out of the words that the author Furudate wrote. But yeah, let's get into it. I have 5 lessons that I want to share with you and why they should matter to you. And as you know, Haikyuu is about volleyball, but it's also about like this life and living in this kind of crazy, unpredictable world we live in today. But this list was extremely hard for me to make. Like actually, it was. There's a couple of things that I have, like just a couple of honorable mentions that I have that I will mention later in the video. By the way, this will contain spoilers. I will let you know when the spoilers are going to pop up. So, mostly quote the first like 3 or 4 are within like at least the anime viewing, at least up to the latest season of the anime, which is I think the Nationals with Inarizaki. So it's up to there. And then I have like some other manga stuff that I will share with you. But like I said, I'll let you know before then. So hey, you've been warned again. You've been warned. But let's get into it, man. So we talk about quotes and things of nature from Haikyuu. One quote that always comes to my mind is from a very unlikely source, which is Tendo after the Shiro Torizawa match, after the crushing defeat at the hands of Kurasa with Hinata and Kageyama, as Wakatoshi and fucking Tendo just sitting on the floor, just laying dazed and like confused, like, and they kind of state to each other, it's like, I really wanted to face them. I wanted to beat them so bad. I wanted to kind of like destroy them with my own strength in a way. I wanted to stand up to their face and say, I'm stronger than you. Even though he knows it sounds like kind of immature to say like, I wanted to beat somebody. But Tendo kind of reaffirms it and says, aren't things that this kind of quote gets off 2 meanings to me, I guess, multiple meanings that kind of interpret it from, but the thing that I find like is more obvious that it's motivated by mundane things that people kind of just do, or they are kind of like, people are kind of motivated by just simple things in a way that kind of be proven to others. Like, I just want to be better. I want to do this. Like, and those are kind of like the more like aspirational things that people should like gravitate towards. Like, it doesn't matter if your motivation is childish or immature to someone else. It is still like a pure desire, because I think a lot of things from childhood kind of resonate deeply with people. And they kind of move like with this childlike wonder later on in their life, or they lose that spark, that goal in them that kind of like says like, I just want to do something better for myself, and kind of like let like themselves get like torn to the side and getting like swayed by other people in their life, So it kind of reaffirms that like childhood nature to like be authentic to who you are, regardless of what it means to anybody else. But also in one way, it could be like, yeah, like of course child things motivate people. Like, aren't we all like kind of children in ourselves? We just get older, and like with time we just get kind of older. Our bodies grow up, but our minds are kind of like in the similar state. There are, of course, you get like more mature in some regards, but some people, you still always hold like childlike wonder. I just want to do better. I want to do this. Like, I want to climb the tallest mountain. I want to be the best player in the world. I want to be the best striker in the world. Hey, Blue Lock fans, you know what I mean? Listen, but those like line kind of conveys a lot of like a meaning for myself. Like, I'm like, because I want to say like, I want to be like the best. I want to be the most manga in the world. I want to be the best like YouTuber in the world, right? Like I said, it's very like logical to think that like it's childish, think like that. But in a way, it's like, why would you want to be the best in the world? Why wouldn't you want to have these childlike wonders to make you who you are? Why would you want to let yourself be swayed back down to like the adult, the logical, the analytical, when things in life are kind of like, can go multiple ways. You have multiple ways to do things. So why narrow yourself down to like, and strict yourself down to like constrict somebody else's reality of like how life should be in a way? But yeah, that's a very long-winded way of saying the quote that I want to say today is just like, let your mind wander. Be child. It's okay to be childish in some ways. Not always be childish, of course. You got to mature a little bit, but in the ways that it matters for your dreams and your goals. Be a little experimental, be a little intrusive with those thoughts, you feel me? But that's what I want to say. That's my the number 5, because that one just kind of brings it all, it kind of loops it back together for. But the next one that we got to talk about, another unlikely source, but this motherfucker was spitting when he said this. It's from Takeda-sensei, who always appears rather meek, and a lot of his resolve as a teacher and motivator becomes kind of all-encompassing for the team later on in the series. But at first, he's like, this guy doesn't really know anything about volleyball. He takes his role as an educator like very seriously, even though like he has little knowledge, like I said, of volleyball or council. But he does have a way of like communicating with the team with his analogies and his like symbolism. And this quote kind of reinforces that when he talks about he who climbs the ladder must begin at the bottom. Listen, this is after Hinata, after the territory's out. This is like season 2 base. It's like season 3 almost. He sneaks into the Washijo's training camp to basically better himself because he feels like he's not getting improvement. All the other first years have gone on and done things a little bit faster than him. Like he's going, Kageyama's going to like the national group to like play with the national team actually, or people in the first years that's like competitive. Tsukishima got with the Wakitoshi's camp and then like he feels like himself is like being pushed back. So in an effort to make strides and to become better, just like everyone thought, just to keep walking the same path and not to be stagnated, he sneaks in and does this. And Takeda, he gets sent back to school, as you know, but Takeda doesn't like scold him in the way that you would naturally like, hey, don't do that again. Like you need to like be better. He tells him in a way that Hinata would understand, in a way that everybody, even the reader and the watcher, can like kind of relate to. Is that, listen, things are not always, there's no really shortcuts to achieve anything worthwhile in your life. To achieve something truly great, you must take things step by step. You must become like obsolete, be well with the friction of life, to go in the flow. Like things are not like always going to be like streamlined for you. So what you must do first is just take that step every day and become who you want to be, you know? And it speaks to like the mastery of things, like, because you think about like things you want to do in life, like go back to become the greatest like YouTuber or whatever you want to be in your life, or whoever you're watching, whatever you want to do. It does take one step about doing, the intention is first, and then the actual action of just doing the daily work consistently. Not to do like a huge arbor slate or push yourself to the limits, but just taking everything one day at a time, because that's all you really can do to put yourself in a position to like blow yourself up or like make yourself like this, like self-destruct to become something great. It's never one. Anything like that is so like very short, or it can get you like there in a fast way. It's never truly the right way in a lot of things that I believe in my life. So I think like everything that we have to do like for ourselves should be like a process of like arduation. Like it should cause a little bit of stress for us to do it. It shouldn't be like easy. Why would you want to like, I'll put it in game terms because I've loved video games all my life, and I think a lot of you can relate to that as well. Is that, think about an RPG. You start at level 1, right? You want to become like the strong, like level 100. If somebody give you all the XP to reach level 1, would that feel rewarding? Would that feel good for you? Would that feel satisfying to like meet your goals? Like, oh, all right, half your thing. Or I'll put it in other terms, like maybe you want to become like an entrepreneur. Somebody just gave you a business. You have the business now, but like, what do you do now? Like, this doesn't feel like it was worth it. It was a lot. There's people that can help you, and there's things you can do to like improve yourself. But that comes again from the step by step, the daily process, the ritual of sorts to become who you want to be, not the roundabout way of starting and just like, oh yeah, I got everything. How does that make you feel in a way? Like fundamentally, you have to understand like what it takes to be like the master of the skill, or be like the top of that of life. So understanding the mastery and like the fundamentals, set like the basic like 1-2 steps, the 3 steps, the 4 steps, like master electricians, master like karate makers, anybody in a master of any school has insane, like he wants to become the best, he wants to become better, to help his team, to help himself. He has the ego about him, which is not a bad thing, but and the way he copes with it to try to become better does make it seem like he doesn't understand like how the process will work. Like, because this insatiable need to go better and be better is is all encompassing a lot of times. But I think Tegeta, like as a character, I would get them more because he does like a lot of quotes like this that kind of like reaffirm. This is another one that's really good towards the end of the series that Chef's Kiss does it well. But to talk about that, he kind of just always just feels like this ethereal force of like goodwill and good nature for the characters, and makes them feel like it's all gonna make it, regardless what happens with them in the volleyball. Like they still own their life. Like volleyball may be the sport that drives them towards this passion, but themselves are the ones who are a result of it, you know? And I think it's always kind of fire. But anything worthwhile does take time. You can't cut out the process, no matter how many bad things may happen because of it, you know? Understand, like, it's not like, in a weird way, like, of course, a little corny and like line is like the journey. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It is about the journey. The journey is what makes you like, because once you get I feel like everybody knows that if you really want to do something in your life, you will get there. It will take time. I believe it will always take time, but to understand that patience and the time, because like you don't know when that destination is going to happen. So like better yet, enjoy the ride of the people that you experience with, the things that you experience in that time period of that journey to make you the person that you want to be at the end of the day, you know? So it's a little motivation for you, you know? Hey, take it one step at a time. He who climbs the ladder must begin at the fucking bottom. So if you're at the bottom right now, start climbing, brother. You don't got no time to waste, you feel me? And listen, number 3, it's kind of conflicting one to say, because there's a lot of great things. This character has a lot of moments, but the one I want to share to you, kind of like, they're two. They lean into each other. They really do, because they're like kind of dichotomy of both characters, but this one comes from the national arc. Unlikely Story, and Shimizu, who supports the team as a manager, and doing her role as encouraging and rallies them in time of need. There's a kind of a certain flashback during her track days when she thinks she has fallen down and like basically feels like destitute. Like, damn, I just joined this team. I need something to do. But the analogy like comes from later when she talks about as she grows with the team, understands like she may not be a volleyball player, but she is still much a part of the team. She's still in the war for like greatness and for the team. She's still at the front lines a lot of the time. She plays a bigger role than she realized at the time, and she kind of like, she does realize it later, but she's more than what she is. And she kind of testifies this in a little bit of a way, saying, why not? The only thing you can do in life is rise to the challenge, you know? To rise above like circumstance, to rise above like things happening in yourself, and understand like, hey, there's nothing, even if all else fails, you can always say to yourself like, I still put my effort, I still put in the work to be in front, to be up there, regardless of the outcome. It's not the results that always make us happen, but the process, again reiterated through her words, makes it seem like, god damn, she's really putting a lot of stress on herself and the team to say like, hey, we're all in this together. There's no reason to stay where you are. Hey, listen, I don't have a jersey, but I'm still in the front. I'm still fighting for my chance, and rather take any challenges she may face with the team or with like being a manager or in life. She's always ready to steadfast in her resolve to stomp down. And you wouldn't even think that from a character like Shimizu. Maybe you would like in the background like, oh, she's just a pretty face, just a manager. But no, her will to inspire the team in the time of like, just like Tanaka, in the time of like their lowest points for each character, to like to rip them up. And it's such a weird moment in the series, because like it's not really significant, but for her it is. It's like, hey, I think Hinata like left his shoes on the bus, so she's like running to get it. But like in that flashback, it was like, hey, I'm doing everything I can to put these guys ahead, and I'm going to do everything I can to put myself ahead in a lot of ways. Like I may not get any like actual accolades from being the manager of the volleyball team during this period of time, but in true sense, I've gained a lot of like life experience with these people to understand like, hey, they're always going to be putting all. They're always hungry for the next like the next challenge. So why am I staying back? Why am I relegating myself to like manager? We are all in this together. You feel me? It's like a very communal sense. You see, and she says that simply rise to the challenge. The only thing you can do is go up. So why look down? You know. And another quote. This is from Tanaka during his match. I think it was Inarizaki as well. This is like kind of his moment, I guess, in the series, that we kind of see Tanaka in a light of like being just just always energetic, boom. Like he's always there, like the guy that's always smiling, always laughing. It's like Hinata in a way, but like to a lesser extent, with his hunger being not like the same, but his motivation being just as high as everyone else's. And he comes with like to say, when this thing's like saying himself to be the most average player team, like everybody else has like their spark, the thing that makes them like good in a way, like this Daiichi, this Sugawara, this Hinata and Kageyama, of course, the Suki, Yamagishi, like they all have like the thing that makes them great. But kind of Tanaka reaffirms like overcoming a kind of like he's like the everyman in the series. Why does, and he always kind of like reaffirms himself like, just because I'm like not at the level that of like everyone else doesn't mean I'm useless. And if I'm thinking like this, why am I do I really have time? If I'm playing with so much, do I really have time to be mediocre? Do I really have time to look down on myself when there's so much above, And it kind of like reaffirms like Shimizu's like, because like the Rise of the Challenge, and then this one saying, why am I looking down when I can only go up? Like, what is the point of looking back towards myself? I can look at my flaws and analyze them however I want. And I feel like I messed up, but there's no point of like beating myself. There's no point of like dragging myself through the mud just because I'm not Hinata. I'm not everyone else. I'm not the comparison. I'm just me, and I can only do me in that way. That's what kind of symbolizes to me in a lot of ways. And I really always put him and Shimizu's quotes together, because like while they're in chapters, they're like farther apart from each other, they still kind of resonate. They kind of make the story like sink back in a holistic way. Like, hey, riding to the challenge and then not looking down. It's kind of like, grab each other saying, what's good, my nigga, you feel me? But they kind of like handle these heavier topics, especially when they talk about motivation and self-esteem with these characters in a very like nuanced way. Like we don't see like Tanaka just like beat himself up. He doesn't ignore his flaws, but he doesn't like attribute everything that he's going to do as a failure or like not doing right. He says he makes mistakes and he does this, but it's very altruistic, and he handles everything with grace and mature like fashion. Not what you would see from a lot of other series. I'm just gonna say that, but let's go on. I'm just saying these two quotes. First of all, Rising Challenge, and then listen, do you really have time to look down on yourself at this point? And I know everybody has felt that way, to like look down on themselves in a way, like looking at their peers, people and that are above them in a way. I think as humans, it's very common to look towards everybody else and then not looking at yourself in a way that's more holistic for you. And so why I say that, like, of course, like Tanaka said, you don't have time to look down. You feel me? You still gotta. Yes, if you're already at the bottom, hey, keep pushing, big dog. You gotta be up there too. You feel me? But like I said, it's a very natural feeling, and I like how they do it in the series. That makes it feel like just wholesome. It doesn't make you feel like you're like. I feel like I'm not reading a book about a manga about volleyball every when I'm reading Haikyuu. I'm just like I'm really just like reading a story about like just really human characters like dealing with the day-to-day. Sports is like, and truthfully, I just feel like there's more than just a volleyball game at play. It's like, damn, these characters are battling for like their ideals in the way, their lifestyles, how they really feel about life. And it's coming to terms with other people that feel differently. And it's like the conflicting and like the meshing of ideas. It feels like it's always going on in Haikyuu. That's what it kind of symbolizes to me, but I'm just one man. But let's go on to the next one. Number two. Listen. Hey, Maddie, this is for you, big dog. Listen. Huh? Wait, who needs memories, man? Such a fire quote, such a fire thing. What do we need, man? It's such an odd phrase as well in reality, because for the rest of the series, we talk a lot about rising challenge and getting better and moving forward, and motivation and just like spiritual like awareness of like who you are and what you want to do in life. And those aspects kind of like coalesce into like that who needs memories. We don't need things like memories in a way. But the time it's weird because like you understand, like we wouldn't think like memories be a part of you wouldn't think, or you would or you wouldn't think that memories be part of such an essential journey. Like, wouldn't you think like memories would be a part of this special journey to spend with friends and teammates and understanding like life in a way? But Inarizaki's down a banner just states that it's like a double entendre of a sentence. Like, why would you need memories to move forward? But you need them in a way because you gotta look past. Of course, you don't need them in the way that you don't want to figure out like things like past glory and feel like you're underserving yourself in a way. Like, you don't want to get tied down by your mistakes. So that's like a very essential component to it. I'll use the example, tied to goes like the 1998 Chicago Bulls with Jordan, they're tied to the past glory. They're not the same. Sorry, that was a diss to the Bulls. Let me chill. I'm sorry, Bulls fans. Sorry, I had to shoot one shot at you. The stray hit you. But nah, like, which is fundamentally because when you realize like the past glory and mistakes, which is, I think this is like a very unique message for the series to say, like, teams often feel good tied to past victories and stagnant growth because they feel like, why would I need to improve if we already won the champion last year? We're gonna win it again this year. Like, what's changing? Like, our players are still the same. We're still in the same health. Why would it differ? But that's like a fundamental understanding, like how like things work and evolve. Like as people, we always are changing year to year. Maybe not as like big giant leaps of faith and change, but we always have like a singular option. Like we have like a minute change, a very slow progress in which we change and become different people sometimes. And it's very unnoticed, but like when you're working in a sports team, like a shift in like how you serve or how you play the game can mean a totally difference between a game-winning shot and a losing shot sometimes. So that way, like people like that can like focus on the past, but not really focus on what is in front of them, what is today. And Inazuki's man, who needs memories, because like I said, it tells you why would you focus on the past when you need to focus on the now, the things are in front of you, the people in front of you. What do you need to do in this moment to make yourself feel great? What do you need to do for yourself? And it's like a journey for like selfishness, focus on that the present. Why do you need to focus on it? But another thing is that it does have its caveats though, because while you focus on the present, you cannot forget the past, because the past symbolizes your future in a lot of ways. You must learn from mistakes. You must understand the people you went through, must understand the plays, the time, the things that were in the past to create this new future, you know? You can't just arbitrate nothing off of something, you know? And I feel like they don't, and that team message is like very incorporated into like that, but also not, because it's such a weird phrase to say. Who doesn't need? You do need memories to strive for better. You do, or you make the same mistakes, you do the same things, but in a way it says, don't cling to yesterday when you live in today. Bring about a newer future in a way. And I feel like it's a great life lesson to learn for yourself in a lot of ways, but also to like, it's a one-liner, because if you look at the message, you feel, yeah, fuck that memory. You know, we don't need that. But you need these things to become who you are. So don't like discount it. It's like one-off. If you really get the deeper meaning towards this, like this phrase, it's telling you to do both at the same time. While you don't need memories, you do need them. Take what you can from the past and then create your brighter future. To become what you want to be, you need to incorporate both parts of yourself, the past and the present, and to create that future for yourself. And I think like that quote really symbolizes that. Like, of course, I went on to a little bit of ramble, but it's a great life message for you. And hopefully I didn't like butcher like everything. It's like a lot of Haikyuu and all, and the broadest parts of it, everybody needs a part of themselves to go forward. And I just love the message from a theoretical standpoint, like a psychological standpoint, but also just like a personal way. Like, listen, I'm a person that sleepy just my memories, so I'm not gonna throw them away. You feel me? But yeah. Oh, this is spoilers. Big spoiler tag right here. So, listen, before I do number one, let's do we got an honorable mention. A lesson that stuck with me for anime. And this quote comes from Fuki Hirabata, I think his name is. I'm butchering his name, I'm sorry. He is the coach from the Japanese national team, and he was there in the finals. So, listen, spoilers again. This is after Kurasuno loses the finals, after they beat Nikobata. This is for the movie. You'll see the movie. They lose to Komendai. He says, today you are defeated, but what will you be tomorrow? He kind of reaffirms like this statement as well. Like he says, the reality of the people who lost nationals understand defeat and are going to become stronger or fall by the wayside because of it. He went on to like say like people in just like a more statement in general for like defeatist mindsets, I guess, when you feel like you're downtrodden. Because today, maybe the fact you did like lose like a challenge, or you lost like your path in life that really made you like who you are. You like, or you hyper focus to make yourself like feel like this is like the only way you can live. But there's always like another day. There's always the second day after where you get to choose who you want to be. You can revel in the defeat and understand like the loss, and definitely move forward and contract it and come to terms with what really happened. But what are you going to do tomorrow? What will you do the next day? Are you going to get up and do your best to reach that next path? or you're gonna fall by the wayside, ultimately saying like your life is your own, the mob reference, you know what I mean? So it kind of reaffirms that. Just like a side note, I'm not gonna expand on too much, but it's just a message for saying like, today you are defeated, but what will you be tomorrow? Like tomorrow is like the everything, like it's like the future, the next day, the present. What are you going? What do you want to do? And it kind of tests to the view like, hey, what are you going to do after I finish the series? In a way, like, will you take these messages to heart, or will you throw them by the wayside? What are you going to do with the lessons you gained, and how are you going to interpret your life? How are you going to fix who you are? How are you going to become the next stage after this defeat? I think defeat is a really interesting conflict. It's like, I think you have to lose to win in a way. For me anyways, that's how I symbolize this. Like, if I lose some, I know there's something wrong with the way that I approach that. There's something that I did. There's something that maybe there's someone cheated or something like that on the rare occasions, but most times it's just me in the situation. It's just myself. So I'm like, what made me lose? I'm not hyperfixating on it, like say like I lost because of the reasons, but like, let me know what reason that I messed up on here. And instead of like focusing on, let's fix that issue and become something different tomorrow. I'll tell you, for the first channel I did was more of a, I guess it was a podcast style kind of thing. I did first, then I did manga and anime. So it was like the YouTube deleted the channel. It was like, defeat, you fucked up. I'm like, damn, definitely on some bullshit, but like, let me figure out what I need to do. And the next one, recently, the other one got deleted. Let me figure out what I need to do to succeed. There's a lot of parameters that went into that to make me feel like, damn, that really fucking hurt. Like, I feel like I can't move forward. But at the same time, why do I need to like sit down and like anguish on that defeat when tomorrow I can just do something else? I can just do anything else. Why do I need to fixate on like, it's not the defeat is not like the end. And for people in general, I think that's like a very hard thing to come by, especially when you take like a massive loss to like your self-esteem or like who you are. It's like, fuck, what do I do next? Like, there's no path forward. There's no like introspective way I can put this, but there always is in a way. I feel like there's always a way out, and not way out, but like a way to like understand and learn from the issues. Like, you can't just go in life just like making mistakes and not learning from them. I mean, you could theoretically, but I don't think you really like do anything in introspect. You just kind of keep doing the same thing and then wonder like, why am I fucking up? I'm like, unless you didn't learn from the lessons. Like, it's a pattern of life. It's going to repeat again. Why aren't you learning to become what you want to be, And that's a very simple message, but I know the video's getting long, so I got the last one. One more, guys. Listen, the final lesson. This is for everyone. This is my favorite lesson of Haikyuu. And it comes from my boy, Kita. That's my nigga. Listen, we all love characters like Hinata and everybody else in Haikyuu, but I think Haikyuu has characters that like deeply resonate with people more than a lot of other animes, like kind of like symbolize, especially like for a shonen like Haikyuu. There's definitely saying and others people can relate to. Of course, I'm not saying you can't relate to anything, but I feel like Haikyuu is like a deeply personal story you can kind of relate to at any level without even understanding like volleyball or anything else. It's just that type of shit. And Kita, this is the lesson from Kita after his defeat with the cours, a little bit, and he's like, he says, when adults say the process matters more than the result, kids are really gonna understand that. I think the results matter of everything, but I totally agree with you. I'm built on basically the daily routine, the things I do every day, the small things that make me who I am. I'm just a byproduct of those, nothing more. And like all things, like I said in the beginning of the video, it's incremental steps that make the ultimate decisions for your path in life. Not great leaps that make you, or someone suggests like giant leaps of faith that make you who you are. Those are important, of course, but the risks you take, the things you do, but the daily repetition of who you are really makes you who you are today. Like, what do you do every day when you get up, when you wake up? What do you do in your daily life to like make you become the person you need to be for who you want to be? Not even what you need to be, what you want to be. Because every moment you're doing what you want to do, theoretically, in a sense. So the time minutes, you're really doing your most. But are those really building block? What did he say? For like life, in a sense, that makes you the happiest in a lot of ways. It's like the practical, methodical approach to life is kind of what symbolizes Kita instills us a lot of like a young age. It instills us basically like this hope. He himself was like raised as the youngest grandfather that was like very religious to like Shinto gods. But he really doesn't care. It's not like about like God or religion, but his practice is an intention, like a very religious thing, you know, not anything like more spiritual, I guess, in a way. Because he's like, it feels good for him to do it every day. Like he does like the same cleaning. It's very intuitive. It's easy. He's streamlined. Some people realize those little interactions between him and himself, like him cleaning, him doing this. And he finally earns like when he finally earns that jersey. And you see like the tears fall from his face. Like you realize like, damn, all the work he did was up to this moment just to put on the jersey, just to be a part of the team. He's a team captain, but he has like people like Mia Atsumu, like fucking monsters, people that are great at volleyball, that will always be great at this sport, playing with him, the twins, like everybody on the team has like something special about them. But he himself understands like, this may not be what I want to do. Volleyball may not be the end goal for my life, and he accepts that. But not in like a nihilistic way to like turn down life. It's like, wow, this is like really interesting to play with these type of people, to be on the string of people that are like great and amazing, and I learn from them, I understand them, I can be with them, we are together. But I'm constantly says like, I want more from my life, I want to do something else. And you see him every day, just like, goddamn, that phrase, the small things you do every day, the things you do are just the result of that, nothing more. Like, it's fundamentally like one of the best quotes in the series, because it really like I said, questions like who you want to be. And I think that's a question like not many people ask themselves, like, what am I really doing every day? Like, of course, you kind of like, I think most people live in like an autopilot, like in a way, like we just wake up, brush my teeth, go take a shower, go to work, go do this, or edit videos, type this, do this, do like go to school, go to work, gotta eat, gotta sleep, gotta do this, gotta parent. But they never realize like, what am I doing? Like they never just step back like, what did I just do? Like what am I doing? Like a conscious thought doesn't pop through their head like on a daily basis like they would think they do in a lot of ways. I think some people are probably conscious of the product they're doing, the autopilot, but they don't really have the necessary, like, I guess, the wherewithal to like step without those bounds and question it more and actually analytically take themselves serious in that way. And this story, like I said, like this quote is kind of a testament to just Haikyuu in general, like what it really means. Like, what are you doing here? Like we look at characters like Hinata, Kageyama, like what they do every day, what they did for their lives, and how they became like these ignatic, these fucking figures that are larger than life in a lot of ways. It always just begs the question, like, what do you want for your life, man? And what do you want to get out of it, you know? And I hope this video finds you in the best spirit. That was the end of the quote. Yeah, this is the new year, so I guess dare to rise to the challenge in that way. May this year be a good year for you and like your family, your friends. Hope this video finds you like the best like spirits and makes you lift up and understand like, man, I'm going to do more, you know? There's always a tomorrow. And aspire for more in life and dare to dream in a lot of ways. But I love Haikyu. But you can't put that up, but be easy. And stay safe out there, gang. Also, Blue Lock, we'll do this in the video. I was just the Blue Lock allegation. Is it better than Haikyu? In my opinion, no. I don't think it is. But I do think Blue Lock teaches you like a different way to understand like life. Blue Lock, Haikyu is more like heart and soul like manga, but Blue Lock's like the brain, the ego, the analytical side, the thing that you want to do, like that you will do, you know? It's just like an egotist, you know, and that's not a bad thing for like sports or anything, but like you need that type of like energy to like be who you want to. So like I think they're like complementary parts to each other. Like the brain, which is the Blue Lock side, and the heart and soul of like yourself is like the Haikyu. So once you have both, I feel like you become like a different type of individual once you have like those type of things in you, because like you need to do what you got to do to like advance your life, and the Blue Lock kind of tells you that. So don't hate it, still love it, but I think Blue Lock has a lot more to offer than people realize than just like being like, I want to get a goal, you know? I think it's deeper than that for you. But hey, I'm KO Cloma. Please like and subscribe for more. Also hit that button down below for you can see me on Twitch. I'll be up there again. Sorry for the lack of uploads again. I know it's like 30-minute video I'm up, but I had to do this. It's a long video. This is a passion project. I have 2 other videos very scheduled coming up soon. I just need to finish scripting them. They're about, we got some romance, you know? I'm gonna talk about some anime too. I got you, gang. Let me know how you feel about the video. You like it? Did you have any criticism? Tell me. I want to know. What did you get out of this? What was your favorite quote too? Let me know. But hey, be easy. Have a good night. Or a good day. Whenever. I think it's coming out at night.